Have you ever felt that the harder you chase something or someone, the faster it seems to run away from you? Have you ever poured your soul into a pursuit only to find the object of your desire becoming more distant, more elusive, as if your very wanting was the thing pushing it away? This is not a cruel trick of fate or a sign that you are unworthy of your desires. It is a fundamental law of energy, a sacred principle that the most powerful women in history have understood, not through force, but through a profound and quiet inner shift. It's a paradox that holds the key to unlocking a reality where everything you seek begins to seek you with the same intensity, and it begins the moment you decide to stop running and start reigning from the throne of your own being. This journey is not about learning a new tactic or a clever trick of manipulation. It is about remembering a power that is already encoded within your spirit. It's about embodying the archetype that this channel, Feminine Queen, is dedicated to exploring. The woman who leads not with a loud command, but with the silent, irresistible gravity of her presence. This is a transformation from the frantic energy of the huntress to the serene magnetism of the sovereign. Here, we don't teach you how to chase better. We guide you in becoming so utterly and completely yourself that the world has no choice but to rearrange itself around you. The path forward is not outward, my ladies, but inward into the very core of your power, where ancient Stoic wisdom meets the timeless truth of your feminine essence. Today, we delve deep into the alchemy of attraction. We are going to dismantle the vibration of chasing piece by piece and replace it with the unshakable foundation of sovereign energy. You will learn why your desperate wanting creates a field of repulsion and how to cultivate the magnetic stillness that draws your desires to your doorstep. This is more than a mindset shift. It is an energetic coronation. You are not a petitioner begging the universe for scraps of affection or success. You are a feminine queen, and it is time your energy field broadcasts that truth with unapologetic clarity. Prepare to call your power home. 1. Vibration born of lack, the Queen's silent saboteur. Your energy speaks a language far more ancient and honest than your words. When your desire for a person, an opportunity, or a certain outcome is born from a space of inner lack, from that quiet, gnawing feeling of, "I will only be whole when I have this," you are not broadcasting a signal of attraction. You are sending out a distress signal, a vibration of incompletion. This frequency, steeped in the subtle notes of anxiety and insecurity, tells the universe that you are a vessel with a hole in it, trying to be filled from the outside. Like trying to hold water in a sieve, the effort is frantic and ultimately futile. A feminine queen understands this critical distinction. Her desires spring not from a void that needs filling, but from a fullness that wishes to express itself. She doesn't need anything to complete her, because her sense of self is her anchor. This shift from a vibration of lack to a vibration of inherent worthiness is the first and most crucial step in ceasing the chase. It is the conscious decision to seal the cracks within, so that your energy no longer leaks out in desperate pleas, but pools into a deep, magnetic reservoir of self-possession. 2. The unseen scepter, your sovereign energy field. Before you walk into a room, before you utter a single word, your energy field announces your arrival. This field is your unseen scepter, the invisible aura of sovereignty that communicates your deepest truths. It is the silent symphony of your inner state, a palpable resonance that others feel and respond to on an instinctual level. When this field is tuned to the frequency of quiet confidence, self-respect, and inner peace, it commands a natural reverence. It draws people and experiences to you that honor that frequency. Conversely, you can be adorned in the finest clothes and speak with the most polished eloquence, But if your underlying energy whispers of neediness, doubt, or a desperate hunger for validation, that is the only message that will be truly received. It creates a dissonance that people can feel, causing them to subconsciously pull away. Cultivating this sovereign field is not an act of performance. It is the deep, sacred, inner work of aligning with your truth. It is about tending to your inner kingdom with such devotion that your regal presence becomes an undeniable force, your scepter felt in the very air around you. 3. The shadow's mirror, projection and your kingdom's reflection. The world you experience is not a random collection of events. It is a profound and perfect mirror reflecting your own inner landscape, especially the parts you refuse to see. The great psychoanalyst Carl Jung called this the shadow, the repository of all your disowned fears, insecurities, and unhealed wounds. When you chase a partner because you have an unacknowledged fear of abandonment, you are acting from this shadow. You project that wound outward, and the universe, in its infinite wisdom, will often send you a person who is emotionally unavailable or non-committal, perfectly mirroring the abandonment you fear and yet unconsciously expect. These people are not your tormentors, they are your soul's messengers, holding up a mirror to the part of you that needs healing. A feminine queen does not blame the mirror. She turns her gaze inward with courage and asks, "What part of me is this situation reflecting?" She understands that to change the reflection, she must heal the source. By integrating her shadow, by bringing love and acceptance to her fears of not being enough, she dissolves the projection, and the mirror begins to reflect back a reality of wholeness, security, and true connection. 4. The inner court, ego's servitude versus soul's sovereignty. Within you, two voices constantly vie for the throne, the ego and the soul. The ego is the frantic court advisor, a servant driven by fear. Its language is one of lack, control, and strategy. It asks, "Does he like me? What should I text back? How can I secure this outcome?" It obsesses over external validation because its entire sense of worth is conditional, dependent on the outside world, affirming its existence. The soul, however, is your true and eternal queen. It resides in a state of profound peace and inherent worth. The soul does not need to strategize because it trusts. It does not need to chase because it knows it is already complete. Its very nature is abundance, love, and serene presence. When you operate from the ego, you chase. Your actions are tinged with the metallic scent of desperation. When you choose to listen to the soul, you magnetize. Your actions, or even your beautiful inaction, emanate a grace that says, "I am whole, I am a sovereign entity, my peace is not negotiable." Shifting your allegiance from the fearful servant to the serene sovereign is the ultimate act of power. It changes your frequency from one of petitioning to one of decreeing. 5. The alchemy of wholeness, individuation as your coronation. The journey to becoming magnetic is, at its heart, what Carl Jung termed individuation. This is not about self-improvement in the sense of adding layers to who you are. It is a sacred process of unbecoming everything you are not. It is the courageous act of reclaiming and integrating every exiled part of yourself, your perceived flaws, your vulnerabilities, your hidden strengths, and your deepest shadows, into a cohesive and powerful whole. This is your true coronation. It's the moment you stop fighting the internal civil war between the good parts of you and the bad parts of you, and instead embrace the totality of your being as the kingdom you are meant to rule. As you undertake this alchemy of wholeness, the desperate need to chase dissolves because the chasms of lack within you are filled with your own acceptance and love. Your energy field shifts from being fractured and needy to being integrated and potent. This inner wholeness is the source code of magnetic energy. It is what allows you to move through the world, not as a half-person seeking your other half, but as a complete sovereign attracting another sovereign. Your coronation is not a public event. It is a silent, profound inner ceremony where you finally claim the throne of your own soul. 6. The compulsion to repeat, breaking the kingdom's old curses. If you look closely at your life, my ladies, you may notice recurring patterns, like ancient curses haunting your kingdom. The same type of emotionally distant partner, the same feeling of being misunderstood, the same cycle of hope followed by disappointment. This is not bad luck. It is a psychological phenomenon known as the compulsion to repeat. Unhealed wounds from your past act like powerful energetic magnets, unconsciously drawing you into situations that replicate the original pain. This is the psyche's misguided attempt to finally win at an old scenario, to resolve a pain it never processed. You might change the face of the person you are dating, but the underlying dynamic of chasing validation or proving your worth remains the same. A wise queen learns to recognize these patterns, not as destiny, but as data. She understands that breaking the cycle doesn't happen by trying to control the external person or situation. It happens by turning inward and healing the original wound that is generating the frequency. By tending to that younger part of you that first felt abandoned or unseen, you dissolve the magnetic charge. You break the curse. You liberate your future from the ghosts of your past and create space for an entirely new, healthier reality to emerge. Carl Jung taught us that the unconscious repeats what it does not remember, but the feminine queen transforms repetition into revelation. She does not flee her patterns, she alchemizes them. In Jungian terms, these curses are shadow fragments, disowned parts of the feminine psyche begging for integration. When you dare to face them, you cease being a prisoner of your history and become the architect of your myth. The queen's sovereignty is not the absence of pain, but the courage to meet it with consciousness, to dissolve its power by saying, "I see you, I name you, I release you." This is the sacred inversion, where once you were bound by invisible chains, you now wield the keys. The feminine queen knows that true liberation is not a single act, but a lifelong coronation, where every healed wound becomes a jewel in her crown. Jung's gold in the shadow is your birthright, the unclaimed majesty waiting in the depths. Rule from there, and your reign becomes eternal. 7. Attraction by frequency, your kingdom's silent decree. Let this truth settle deep within your bones. Your reality is not primarily shaped by your wishes, your affirmations, or even your actions. It is shaped first and foremost by the core frequency you consistently broadcast from your being. This frequency is the sum total of your conscious and unconscious beliefs, your emotional home base, and the state of your nervous system. It is the silent decree you issue to the universe, declaring who you are and what you are available for. If your foundational frequency is one of self-doubt, fear of scarcity, or a belief that you must strive and suffer for love, then you will, by law, attract people and circumstances that perfectly validate that decree. You will meet partners who amplify your doubts and situations that confirm your scarcity. But when you do the inner work to shift that core frequency, when your being begins to hum with the deep, quiet resonance of "I am worthy, I am whole, I am secure within myself," your decree changes. You begin to effortlessly attract reflections of that new truth: respect, reciprocity, ease, and connections that honor your innate sovereignty. You don't get what you want, you get what you are. A feminine queen focuses her efforts not on chasing things outside of her, but on mastering the inner frequency from which her entire world is created. All right, feminine queens, thank you for being the heart of this incredible community. We wouldn't be here without your likes, comments, and shares. Keep that powerful energy flowing, and don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell, and share. I'll love you forever for it. 8. Surrender. The Queen's ultimate strategic power, replacing control. In a world that lionizes hustle and control, the concept of surrender is often mistaken for weakness or giving up. This is a profound misunderstanding. For the feminine queen, surrender is the ultimate expression of power. Control, the urge to check his social media, analyze his response times, and strategize your next move, is the language of the ego. It is a contracted energy born from the terrified belief that if you don't manage every detail, everything will fall apart. It broadcasts fear and desperation. Surrender, in the Stoic sense, is the soul's domain. It is not passivity. It is an active, courageous trust. It is the act of releasing your white-knuckled grip on outcomes you were never meant to control in the first place, like the feelings and choices of another person. It is anchoring yourself so firmly in your own worth and inner peace that you can allow life to unfold, trusting that what is meant for you will flow to you, and what is not will fall away. This is true confidence. It radiates a serene power that is infinitely more magnetic than the frantic energy of control. A queen who surrenders her need to micromanage finds that she has, in fact, gained ultimate command over the only thing that matters, her own inner kingdom. 9. Presence, your radiant throne room. Where does a queen truly reign? Not in a castle of stone, but in the unshakable fortress of the present moment. Your power is not in the past, which is a library of ghosts and lessons, nor is it in the future, which is a canvas of vapor and potential. Your entire power, your full radiance, exists only in this exact moment. Presence is the art of anchoring your full consciousness, your mind, your heart, your very soul, right here, right now. When you are with someone, you are with them, not in your phone or in your head, worrying about what they think. When you are alone, you are fully inhabiting your own company, not escaping into daydreams of a future lover. When you cultivate this deep presence, the frantic chasing energy dissolves. The static of anxiety and the buzz of expectation fade away. What is left is a potent, calm, magnetic stillness. This is your throne room. It is a state of being so complete and self-contained that it requires no external validation. Your presence becomes its own reward, a silent, powerful invitation that draws others in, not because you are demanding their attention, but because the authenticity and peace you radiate are irresistibly beautiful. 10. Vibrational detachment, the Queen's conscious unclenching. Vibrational detachment is a sophisticated Stoic practice perfectly suited for the modern Queen. It is not about being cold, aloof, or uncaring. It is the royal art of creating a space between an impulse and your reaction to it. It is noticing the surge of anxiety when he doesn't text back, feeling the pull to check up on him, sensing the compulsion to seek reassurance, and consciously choosing not to act from that place of fear and lack. It is a sacred pause. In that pause, you reclaim your power. You witness the frantic servant of your ego screaming for a fix, and you, the Queen, calmly deny its request. You choose instead to self-soothe, to return to your center, to remind yourself, my peace is not in his phone, my worth is not in his reply, I am whole, with or without this. This conscious unclenching trains your nervous system to find its baseline in security, not in external validation. It allows you to engage with others from a place of genuine desire and connection, not from a place of addictive, anxious attachment. It is the practice that allows your energy to remain sovereign and magnetic, rather than becoming entangled and needy. 11. The silent radiance, when being becomes your irresistible decree. This, my queens, is the final destination of this journey. It is the state where all effort ceases, and your very being becomes the attraction. When you have done the deep work of integrating your shadow, of choosing soul over ego, of mastering surrender and presence, something miraculous happens. You begin to radiate. This is not a glow that you have to manufacture or perform. It is the natural, luminous byproduct of inner wholeness and alignment. It is the silent, potent energy field you broadcast when you are so profoundly at peace in your own skin, so unapologetically authentic, that your vibration becomes a law unto itself. From this still point of absolute self-possession, you become a magnet. You don't chase love. You embody a love so complete within yourself that authentic love is drawn to you. You don't hunt for opportunities. You radiate a competence and grace that brings opportunities to your door. Your silent radiance becomes your irresistible decree to the universe. What is out of alignment with your wholeness simply cannot withstand your frequency and naturally falls away, leaving space only for that which honors the queen you have become. 12. The sacred mirror. Reality as your master teacher. Every single interaction, every challenge, every person who enters your kingdom serves a divine purpose. They are teachers reflecting your inner state back to you. When you encounter frustration, dismissal, or disappointment, the untrained response is to blame the external, to curse the mirror. But the queen, the wise sovereign, knows better. She turns her gaze inward and asks with regal curiosity, "What unhealed part of my own dominion does this mirror? What aspect of my inner world is calling for my attention?" A partner who feels inconsistent might be mirroring a place where your own self-commitment needs to be strengthened. A feeling of being overlooked could be pointing to a chamber within you where you have not yet learned to truly see and validate yourself. A feminine queen does not waste her precious energy fighting the reflection. She honors the mirror for its truth and gets to work on her own inner landscape. She understands this is the sacred alchemy of life, turning the lead of external triggers into the gold of inner wisdom and unshakable self-possession. 13. Sovereign time, the unhurried pulse of destiny. You must divorce yourself from the frantic, desperate energy of society's timeline. True, deep magnetic power operates on what I call sovereign time, the majestic, unhurried, and perfect rhythm of your own soul's unfolding. The ego lives by the stopwatch. It demands results now. It interprets delays as denial, and it panics at the sight of stillness, mistaking it for stagnation. This rushed, anxious vibration is the very antithesis of magnetic energy. A queen understands that the most powerful creations require a period of sacred gestation. A seed does not become a mighty oak overnight. She trusts the divine timing of her life, knowing with every cell in her being that what is truly hers by soul contract cannot be missed. This trust allows her to act from a place of inspired guidance rather than panic desperation. Her energy radiates a calm, potent certainty, the serene confidence of a ruler who knows her destiny is not a race to be won, but a masterpiece to be revealed in its own perfect, majestic time. 14. The eternal crown, legacy beyond the flesh. Your ultimate reign, my ladies, is not measured in the accolades you receive or the partners you attract. It is measured in the legacy of your essence, the eternal crown you forge through the fires of self-mastery. This crown is not given to you. It is earned, moment by moment, every time you choose courage over fear, integration over denial, and presence over distraction. Its jewels are the shadows you have had the courage to face, the wounds you have alchemized into wisdom, and the vulnerabilities you have transformed into unshakable strength. A feminine queen building this legacy understands that her greatest power lies in the vibrational frequency she anchors into the world. It is the silent permission she gives to other women to claim their own thrones simply by witnessing her unapologetic reign in hers. This is your immortality, not the memory of your name, but the undying resonance of a woman who dared to become whole, who chose herself so completely that her very light became a beacon for others. This crown, forged of integrated light and darkness, is your eternal signature in the cosmos. The chase is over. Not because you have captured your prize, but because you have realized that you are the prize. The entire game shifts when you withdraw your energy from the frantic external pursuit and pour it with lavish devotion into the cultivation of your own inner kingdom. Everything we have spoken of today, from integrating your shadow to embodying a state of surrender, boils down to one singular revolutionary act: choosing yourself, choosing your peace over your anxiety, choosing your wholeness over the illusion of completion by another, choosing the serene power of your presence over the desperate plea for attention. This is the path of the feminine queen. This journey is not always easy. It demands courage, self-honesty, and a willingness to sit with discomfort as you retrain your energy and nervous system. But it is the most worthy journey you will ever undertake. Because at the end of this path lies a freedom that is unshakable and a magnetism that is effortless. It is the freedom of knowing your worth is innate and non-negotiable, and the magnetism that comes from radiating that truth from the very core of your being. You become a fixed point of light in a chaotic world, and like a star, you don't chase planets. Their orbits are simply drawn into your gravitational pull. So I ask you to reflect on this, my queens. Where in your life are you still chasing? Where are you leaking your precious royal energy in pursuit of something you believe will complete you? Take that energy back, place it lovingly upon the throne of your own heart, water your own garden, polish your own crown, and watch, with the quiet confidence of a true sovereign, as the world transforms to meet the frequency of the queen you have finally fully become. You are a feminine queen, and your power is not in the chase, but in the glorious, radiant stillness of your being. Thank you for allowing me to share this space with you today. If this message resonated deep within your soul, honor that resonance by subscribing to the Feminine Queen channel and hitting the notification bell so you never miss a transmission. Share your biggest takeaway in the comments below. Your wisdom enriches this entire community. Until next time, reign on.